Good morning, Magnus. So, let's talk about Greenland. How are the statements of the US government perceived by you and the people you know? And how do you think the Danish government and society should respond?
Good morning, Pietro. Glad to be here. Okay, let's get straight to it. The Danish people seem to be very shocked. It's a very shock feeling here in Denmark, and people are just, many of them are backing out. They can't even fathom this like complete change of perceptions of what they imagined the United States and Danish relations to be, which now have been completely turned on its head, and they're sitting there like a few days ago there was these statements, but we've always been allies, we've been helping you out in Iraq and Afghanistan and the whole NATO alliance and these things. So people are genuinely shocked on a kind of popular level, but I think a lot of them are then even backing out. They're just choosing not to deal with it because they can't even fathom the reality behind it. But for me, of course, it's very clear what's going on. I'm not shocked at all. I think it's a continuation of an ongoing US policy, and now they are in a little bit of a crisis, so they're looking for new lands to exploit. And also I think it's an intimidation tactic to just show that this is jungle capitalism and you cannot trust anyone. And I mean, the Danish government itself is very much just not talking about it. They're saying we can have a good discussion, we can figure out how it's going to be, we don't want to become bad friends. They say, oh, it's a good win for China because it makes the US look bad. Most of the politicians, they just talk about Russia taking over Ukraine, while we are seeing the United States literally take away Greenland. But you could also argue that we have really not been in control since 45, since we've been de facto under US rule on Greenland because of the military presence, which is very common how they do it around the world.
How do you think to date the Danish government has treated the people of Greenland? And what do you think the status of the island should be?
The people of Greenland, I think the Danish government has mistreated. I would argue it could be on a legal basis called both cultural and literal genocide. What Denmark has done, the mistreatments, the forced abortions, which goes on to this day. Greenlandic mothers are having their children taken away by force because they're ruled uncivilized by some very, very old standards of formula, where it's like, you don't get the right amount of points, so we're going to remove your child by force few minutes after birth, basically. And I think the question of how we should deal with it, I don't think Greenland coming under US control is going to make anything any better. I think Denmark should try and learn from, for example, China's minority policies and giving certain privileges and then putting in active measures to try and boost population numbers, help them to become economically independent in the future. But first, lay the ground, like not this what is now popularly called green colonialism, where we just kind of keep them underdeveloped and poor. We should help them to, in as good as way as possible, extract what could enrich Greenland. And I think they should become a very important, big global power by themselves. And if Denmark treats them well, and if we do it in a proper way, then it could all be a very positive development. And I think we should try and realize what we have done and what we're still doing to be able to actually go beyond this continuation of what I would call is just ongoing blatant colonialism.